On this sacred night of Samhain, I stand before you to share the wisdom and the mysteries of this most significant and magical time of the year. Tonight, the veil between our world and the other world is at its thinnest, allowing for communion with the spirits, ancestors, and the denizens of the sheave, or fairy mounds. Falcha, Samhain, my fellow villagers, is a time of transition. It marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the darker half of the year. The days grow shorter and the nights longer. It is a time when we honor our ancestors, offer thanks to the gods for the bountiful harvest, and seek guidance for the year ahead. It is the start of a new Celtic year, a time for reflection, and a moment to embrace the unknown. Samhain is a night when the world of the living and the other world intertwine, and the spirits of our ancestors walk among us. On this sacred night, we light bonfires to drive away the darkness and offer warmth and protection. We carve faces into turnips to ward off maleficent spirits and disguise ourselves to confuse them. It is a night of feasting, storytelling, and merriment as we gather to celebrate and give thanks for the blessings of the past year. But it is also a time for caution, as the spirits of the sheave are not all benevolent. Long ago, in a village not unlike our own, there lived a young and headstrong man named Emin. Emin had heard tales of the enchanting people from under the sheave, who were known for their mesmerizing music and exquisite feasts. He was curious and sought to witness their revelry. So, one Samhain night, when the bonfires blazed and the villagers celebrated, Emin made his way to the nearby fairy mount. He was lured by the enchanting music, the tantalizing aroma of feasts fit for the gods, and the alluring beauty of the sheave people, the Tua de Danann. Emin danced and feasted with them, losing track of time and his sense of self. The hours turned to days, and the days into years. Emin was never seen again, whisked away to the other world. The people of the sheave are beguiling, and their realm is timeless. When we venture to the other world, we risk losing touch with our own world. So, on this sacred night of Samhain, while we embrace the magic of the other world and celebrate with fervor, let us remember the cautionary tale of Emin. Be wary of the sheave, for they are not to be trifled with. Keep your wits about you, for the boundary between our world and theirs is porous tonight. It is a time for reverence, reflection, and respect. As we gather tonight, let us pay our respects to the spirits of our ancestors, ask for their guidance, and offer gratitude for the blessings we have received. And as we celebrate the turning of the Celtic year, may we do so with a sense of unity, wisdom, and caution. Samhain, the festival of shadows, is a night of magic. But we must remember that not all magic is benign. On this night, may the wisdom of our ancestors protect us, and may our hearts be filled with the warmth of the bonfire that burns in each of us. Sláinte Ma to all of you, my fellow villagers, on this Samhain night.
Can you hear me coming? It is Stripped Down Lives, Season 13, Halloween special. I can't believe we made it. Pierre.
How you doing?
Pierre from Aiséirí. You are an absolute just buffet of musical and interesting ideas and influences, and in keeping of my own Stripped Down Live Halloween traditions, I was like, got an artist, got a costume, got the crew, got the set, we are ready to go, and I have no questions prepped. I have not done any research. So we're gonna get to know each other in real time tonight, Pierre.
Let's do it.
From Aiséirí. Tell me about Aiséirí first. How's that for an absolute generic first question?
Well, Aiséirí is a folk metal band.
Well, first of all, folk metal. What are we looking at here? What's the lineup?
So, folk metal is... There's not a short answer to that question. There's a lot of
got an hour.
There's a lot of different types of folk music that people have combined with metal. The most popular one, and what actually got me into folk metal in the first place, is Aiséirí. They're like a Celtic metal band from Switzerland. And I'll never forget, I went to go see Amon Amarth play. They were at the Coors, whatever it was at the time. And
Odeon?
Yeah, it was the Odeon at the time. I was spacing on that. But
ask me anything about the Saskatoon music scene from about 2008 to 2014. I got your back.
And I had never heard of this band, and I was like, okay, sure, like we'll check them out, whatever. And at that point, I had been playing bagpipes for 15 plus years or whatever, and I'd never, like, I knew about Dropkick Murphys and Real Mackenzies and all that, but I'd never made the connection with metal. And then this guy comes up on the stage. There's 9 of them, but this one guy comes up on the stage. He's playing bagpipes. So I was like, that was it. that was what I knew what I had to do with my life.
And that brought you to Aiséirí.
Yeah.
So it's fun to say.
Yeah.
So outside of music, the influence that puts together an outfit like Aiséirí, like what did we kick off the show with? Like what was the horror story? What are you about, buddy?
So the first story was basically what is Samhain? And Samhain is what would eventually become Halloween. Mm-hmm. It's the Celtic festival of the winter solstice that would, eventually become as heavily marketed as it is today.
Yes.
And basically a lot of the traditions and the stuff we do, like trick-or-treating and jack-o'-lanterns and all that kind of fun stuff, most of it came from Samhain, and a lot of the the modern interpretation of witchcraft and pagans and all that kind of stuff basically originated from these Celtic traditions. So who better than a Celtic folk metal band to talk about it? So
do you have deep Celtic roots?
I'm Irish and Scottish and French by
design.
Design, yeah. I guess my ancestors at one point were like, trying to join forces against the English or something. So here I am.
Here you are. And here we are in Stripped Down Lives 13th Halloween special. These are like the best shows we do each year, honestly. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, man, it was just like, what's he going to bring? A bunch of instruments we've never had on the show before. You want to read some stories instead of songs a few times? I was like, absolutely, let's go, let's do it. Let's throw it over now to our spooky social media correspondent, ladies and gentlemen, Bryn Kreisa. Bryn, you told me you were going to dress up.
I know, I missed the memo. Oops.
I use that joke every single year. How's it going, Bryn?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Halloween, we did it one more time.
You look great.
Thank you very much. You told me you weren't going to bring it this year with the costume, but I think that's pretty darn fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Credit to my mom. She sewed all of this. Not tonight, but for previous costumes. But so she helped me out. But yeah, glad I could dress up. I love Halloween.
Absolutely. What's going on in the world of social media?
We've got some people tuning in. I was just about to enter a comment there to say, ask questions, interact with us, because you'll be entered to win a gift card to Earl Saskatoon. I heard their pumpkin pie is back.
This is true.
Yes.
Their pumpkin pie is back. I'll do a little read about Earl's in a bit here.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh.
Nice to have you back, Bryn. We missed you last month.
Yes, unfortunately, I had COVID. So
Oh, brutal.
I know.
All right, back to Pierre. So we got 4 stories, 4 songs.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you choose the stories you'll be reading tonight?
I have a confession to make.
Okay.
The one that we're about to sing is less than 48 hours old.
Oh, the song.
Yes.
Okay, I was asking you about the stories. Because that was a unique ask that I was very excited about.
Yeah, so
We've never had an artist that wanted to do like a spoken word thing before ever in 252 episodes. So
Really?
When I
Wow.
sent it out to the crew, everyone was really excited. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's cool, something different."
Cool.
Especially on Halloween where there are no rules. There's even less rules than usual on this show.
the veil is thin tonight.
Yes. So you picked out these 4 stories.
So yeah, I picked out these stories. I kind of wanted to find stories that pertained in some way to Halloween and Samhain and all that. So, but still keeping with the theme of the band, which is mostly Celtic and Irish mythology. So of course, talking about the other world and the Sheev and the Tuatha Dé Danann, and it's all part of Celtic mythology, and there's quite a lot. There's a lot of information, but there's also not a lot of information because the Celts didn't write things down, and the Romans went and wiped them out, and so we basically have educated guesses on everything.
So you're bringing it back.
Pretty much,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So-
I'm really pumped for tonight. So before we get to the first song, I got to give a shout out to these sponsors. Of course, starting at the top with Earl's Saskatoon. Support them, they support us. They're our title sponsor here at Strip Down Live. And on the October 28th, I was going to say the Saturday, I think it's a Saturday, it's Earl's Mares Halloween party, like Nightmares, only Earl's Mares. It's their Halloween party, October 28th, 7 p.m. to late. There's a DJ, a costume contest, and free entry. That's going on at Earl's Saskatoon, our title sponsor. Up next, we got Vern's Pizza, and they feed the crew after every episode, so I hope you two are hungry. And then Hairstyle Inn, moving down, and E West Music. Again, those are the sponsors that support us, so go out and support them. Back to Pierre from Aiséirí. First song, I'm so legit giddy with just anticipation. What are we plugging in here first?
I just
What are we
plug
doing?
my bazooki in.
Yeah, go for it.
Forgot to do that before we started. Pop. Thanks, guys.
What is this song?
This is called An Sheev.
All right, give me like 5 minutes or like 5 seconds to walk away so my boots don't ruin the intro to your
You
song.
could give
okay?
us like a little percussion track. In the rolling hills of Éire, there lies an ancient mound where the fallen fae take refuge in exile underground. Driven to the other world by the vengeful sons of Mil, the gateway to the realm of gods is found upon this hill. A Samhain draws upon us, and thin becomes the veil. The Aes, she walked the earth, emerging from Magmail. We gather in the Sheev, our ancestors await the sacred night of souls. Walk through the gate. Once mighty gods and warriors, the fairy folk have come. No longer do they rule the land, their power's not undone. Beautiful and fearsome, we make offerings to appease wrath of the gods, brings us to our knees. As Samhain draws upon us, and thin becomes the veil. May she walk the earth, emerging from Magmail. We gather in the sea, our ancestors await the sacred night of souls. We walk through the gates as Samhain draws upon us, and thin becomes the veil. The Aiséirí walk the earth, emerging from Magmail. We gather in the sea, our ancestors await the sacred night of souls. Walk through the gate. The Death Coach. 'Tis midnight. How gloomy and dark. By Jupiter, there's not a star. 'Tis fearful, 'tis awful. And hark, what sound is that comes from afar? Still rolling and rumbling. That sound makes nearer and nearer approach. Do I tremble? Or is it the ground? Lord, save us. What is it? A coach. A coach. But that coach has no head. And the horses are as headless as it. Of the driver, the same may be said, and the passengers inside who sit. See the wheels, how they fly o'er the stones, and whirl as the whip it goes crack. Their spokes are of dead men's thigh bones, and the pole is the spine of the back. The hammer cloth, shabby display, is a pall rather mildewed by damps, and to light this strange coach on its way. 2 hollow skulls hang up for lamps from the gloom of Rathconey churchyard. They dash down the hill of Glanmire, past Lotta in gallop, as hard as if horses were never to tire. With people thus headless, 'tis fun to drive in such furious career, since headlong their horses can't run, nor coachmen be heady from beer. Very steep is the Tivoli lane, but uphill to them is as down. Nor the charms of Wood Hill can detain these Dullahans rushing to town. Could they feel as I've felt in a song, a spell that forbade them depart, they'd a lingering visit prolong, and after their head lose their heart. No matter, 'tis past 12 o'clock. Through sheets they sweep on like the wind, and taking the road to Blackrock, Cork City is soon left behind. Should they hurry, thus reckless along, to supper of to bed, the landlord will surely be wrong if he charge it at so much a head. Yet mine host may suppose them top poor, to bring his wealth and increase, as till now, who drove up his door, possessed at least 1 crown apiece. Up the dead woman's hill they are rolled. Boreen Mana is quite out of sight. Balin Temple they reach, and behold, at its churchyard they stop and alight. "Who's there?" said a voice from the ground. "We've no room, for the place is quite full." "Oh, room must be speedily found, for we come from the parish of Skull. Though Murphys and Crowleys appear on headstones of deep-lettered pride, through Scannells and Murleys lie here, Fitzgeralds and Toonies beside. Yet here for the night we lie down, tomorrow we speed on the gale, for having no heads of our own, we seek the old head of Kinsale."
You're watching Strip Down Live's Season 13 Halloween Special with Pierre from Aiséirí.
That's me.
That's you. That's second spoken word. I'm just going to call it spoken word because it sounds cooler than story.
That works.
What was that?
On Scala.
Okay.
So that's called The Death Coach, and it's one of the poems that would inspire the legend of Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman.
Amazing.
So the Dullahan is the mythical creature that would be later become known as the Headless Horseman.
I can't get a read on you if you love Halloween or if you're like, this got hijacked from us. Where are you with all things Hallow?
I mean, I'm a diehard metalhead, so this is my time of year.
So for Aiséirí, is that like a band that would get booked more for Halloween?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, we have, we do some ridiculous outfits and stuff like that, and do all the Celtic spooky shit stuff, and got it. And I mean, we're of course a metal band, so it just lends itself to Halloween type stuff. And but we're kind of more often looked at for St. Paddy's Day.
Really?
And that kind of stuff, because we are in essence an Irish band. So
is it like a dark St. Paddy's Day then?
kinda.
That's phenomenal.
We played Hanks this past St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
And we started off with I tried to set the beginning up like almost like an Irish session that you would see when coming into a pub. And basically you're kind of sitting around the bar playing music, and if someone else happens to have an instrument, get in there, play. That's kind of how a session works. And then we kind of transitioned it to like a acoustic performance and then a rock performance. So we didn't go full on, Cookie Monster vocals like I like to do, but you play to your audience. But
again, Cookie Monster vocals. Before we started rolling, you dropped the term pirate metal.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm almost sad that we don't get to see a full-on Aiséirí performance tonight. And if we did, how would it be different than what's going on right now?
Well,
how would it be different?
There'd be like 8 of us for one.
Okay.
Folk metal and like those types of bands, they usually tend to have a lot of people because they're all playing a bunch of weird instruments all at the same time. And the fact that we only have 5 or 6 members at this point is like we're actually quite small in terms of the typical scale of a folk metal band. Like I said, that band that we were listening, I was mentioned before, they had 9 people in it, and that's like normal.
So are they like-minded people, or are you just like plucking classical musicians being like, put on the chainmail, boys, we got to go to work?
For the most part, we're all a bunch of nerds. Most of us, a few of us are also in Singularity, so there's a lot of crossover between the two bands. And but we're huge nerds. A lot of the stuff we write about is about video games, and we have a Castlevania song that we're working on. We've got The White Wolf is about The Witcher, of course. But then also we do the mythology and all that. So, like I said, we're just huge geeks, and this is the musical equivalent of a D&D campaign.
That's phenomenal. We're going to talk about Singularity after the next commercial break, but we have to get to song number 2. That's fun. Only 4 songs tonight and 4 spoken word. Where do we go next? What's song number 2?
This song is called The Doulahan.
And what's it about?
The Doulahan.
Okay. That's all you're giving me?
The Headless Horseman. So this is basically just a song version of what you just heard.
All right, it's Pierre from Aiséirí. Take it away.
At midnight spell I am sent to hell, and the moon lights the sky. On a sound of hooves from the shadows loom, my terror starts to rise. When fast approach the deathly coach, once seen there's no escape. The harbinger of death is near, and Snick is now my fate. He rides alone, his quest is known, the Headless Horseman's tale. The Doulahan rides across the land to claim the head of Kinsale. My fear sets in as the hellish grin is seen under his arm. And I've learned to flee from the ghost I see, but the spectre's found his mark. No head is seen, but his eyes are keen as he gallops down the road. He knows I'm here, he can sense my fear, he's dear to claim my soul. Rides alone, his quest is known, his Headless Horseman's tale. The Doulahan rides across the land to claim the head of Kinsale. The end is near, and despite my fear, I feel the call to home. The other world where the coach is hurled, my death is set in stone. The hour is late, I resign my fate to the Headless Horseman's hand. The coach of death is my final breath, we depart from this land. Midnight's round, his quest is known, the Headless Horseman's tale. The Doulahan rides across the land to claim the head of Kinsale. He rides alone, his quest is known, the Headless Horseman's tale. The Doulahan rides across the land to claim the head of Kinsale. Ancient land of Era, where the rolling emerald hills meet the vast wild sea, there lived a man of great faith and wisdom. This man was known as Saint Patrick, and he was on a divine mission to bring Christianity to the people of Ireland. Little did he know that his journey would lead him to a harrowing encounter with the ancient and fierce deity Crom Cruach. One fine morning, as the dew glistened upon the shamrocks and the sun cast its golden rays upon the land, Saint Patrick embarked on a pilgrimage to the heart of Ireland. With his staff in hand and a heart full of conviction, he ventured deep into the countryside, seeking to spread his teachings to all who would listen. As he traveled further into the untamed wilderness, he heard whispers of a great idol, revered by the pagan people of Ireland. It was said that Crom Cruach, a colossal stone pillar, stood in a sacred grove, surrounded by 12 smaller stone idols. The people worshipped this ancient deity with the most horrifying of rituals, sacrifices of their own kin, and prayers for a bountiful harvest. St. Patrick knew he had to confront this pagan idol and convert the people from their dark practices. With unwavering faith, he arrived at the grove and beheld the ominous sight of Crom Cruach and its 12 stone companions. They cast long shadows across the sacred ground. Raising his staff high, Saint Patrick began to preach the gospel. He spoke of love, forgiveness, and the salvation of the soul. His words carried divine power, and the pagan people who had gathered to witness the strange man's arrival began to listen. Their curiosity piqued. But Crom Cruach was not pleased. An entity of darkness and malevolence. It stirred in response to St. Patrick's words, emanating an eerie presence that could be felt by all. The earth quaked beneath their feet, and the sky grew dark, as if a storm was approaching. St. Patrick stood resolute, his faith unwavering. He called upon the power of God and continued to preach. With each word, the ground shook even more, and the power of the pagan deity began to wane. Realizing that it was losing its grip on the people's hearts, Crom Cruach grew furious. It called upon its followers to offer a human sacrifice to regain its strength. But no one would heed its call, for St. Patrick's words had touched their souls. In one final act of faith and defiance, St. Patrick struck the mighty idol with his staff. The stone pillar shattered into 1,000 pieces, and its 12 smaller companions fell to the ground, crumbling in defeat. The people of Ireland, who had once worshipped Crom Cruach in fear, now embraced the teachings of St. Patrick with newfound hope and love. They saw the power of the light that could overcome the darkness. St. Patrick's encounter with Crom Cruach became a legend, a testament to the strength of faith and the triumph of light over darkness. And as the Christian faith spread across the Emerald Isle, St. Patrick's legacy continued to shine brightly, illuminating the hearts of those all who followed him, and driving the shadows of paganism into the past. In the end, it was not only the land, but also the souls of the Irish people that were transformed. All thanks to the courage and unwavering faith of St. Patrick, the great druid turned saint.
Stripped Down Live's 13th season, our 13th Halloween special, and we're spending it with Pierre from Aiséirí. We got a question. Thank you, by the way, for coming on a special Thursday edition of Stripped Down Live. Yeah. We're usually Tuesdays, so we're trying to drum up some more questions here. I don't think a lot of people understand that we jumped days, but we're going to throw it back over to Bryn Kreis, social media correspondent. Bryn, we got a familiar face asking a question.
Yes, we do. Martina.
She was last year's artist on Halloween.
Oh, right on. Cool.
Yeah.
And she said, feels like campfire ghost stories. In combining folk and metal, creating songs, how do you choose which instruments to use where?
Great question.
ADHD. You know what? That is a really good question, because if we're working on a traditional tune, then it kind of depends on what instrument I learned it on. It depends on what key we're in, because the bagpipes can only be in one key, so and sound good. But so it really depends. It's a case by case thing, but if it's a traditional, if it's an original, then I have a lot more space to play with. And usually I just kind of, I gotta feel the song. I just gotta know, the song will tell me what I need to play. And I mean, most of what I do vocals and whistles. Whistles are easy because I can carry them around with me while I'm singing. I use these electronic bagpipes because I can do vocals at the same time. So those tend to be what I gravitate towards. And I suck at guitar, so I avoid that, and I let Jared handle all the shreddly wheedlies. And but yeah, I mean, I try to do bagpipes as much as possible because that's kind of like home base for me. But like I said, it's just kind of whatever I feel like doing at the time.
Were your parents musicians? Did you grow up in a musical family?
No.
So how do you suddenly get this path? Because I mean, this isn't some 10-year-old seeing Nirvana on Much Music and being like, I want to play the guitar.
Yeah.
Where did you draw this from?
Well, I always wanted to play drums. That was my first instrument, and that was definitely that.
Okay.
Getting into rock music, and all your buddies in high school want to start a band, and you be the only one who actually carries on and continues to play music after high school. Hi guys.
Wow.
But for bagpipes,
This is where we add the Halloween. Ah!
yeah, throwing all my buddies under the bus.
That's
cool. No, with the bagpipes, I was actually in cadets, and I didn't get into marksmanship camp because my average was like 1% too low. So they sent me to pipes and drums instead, and I was like, well, I already play the drums, so let's try it. And yeah, almost 30 years later, if you told me then that I was going to be, fronting a metal band with the bagpipes, I probably would have laughed at you, but here we are.
All right.
Now I'm laughing at me.
Well, I don't want to run out of time, so let's get to song number 3. What are you bringing to the table for this one?
This one is an original Aiséirí tune. This is the one I mentioned to you before. It's called The White Wolf.
Okay. What instruments you busting out for this one?
We're going to do some whistles.
Phenomenal. All right. Pierre
Let's do it.
from Aiséirí.
2, 3, go. In the age of beasts, the white wolf rides, devoid of emotion, through pale yellow eyes, wandering where none would dare to seek out the demons within, braving the depths of hell for gold and the pleasures of sin. Signs at the ready, 2 swords in hand. The white wolf stands prepared to defend this land. Elder blood, give me the strength to face the race. The hunt calls my name. Gift or curse, power within me cures and kills. Uncertain is my fate. Protecting his kin against all odds. The forces of evil seek the blood of gods. The hunters from the frozen wastes are seeking the white wolf's head. But the white wolf stands firm and till the hunters are dead. Signs at the ready, 2 swords in hand. The white wolf stands prepared to defend this land. Elder blood, give me the strength to face the race. The hunt calls my name. Gift or curse, power within me cures and kills. Affirmed is my fate. Elder blood, give me the strength to face the race. The hunt calls my name. Gift or curse, power within me cures and kills. The world is saved.
In the heart of ancient Ireland, there lived a brave and noble warrior named Oisín, son of Fionn MacCool, the legendary leader of the Fianna. One day, while riding through the enchanting forests of Éireann, he came across a mystical sight. A beautiful woman on a white horse, radiant as the moon itself. Her name was Nev, and she hailed from Tir Nanog, the land of eternal youth. Nev was captivated by Oisín's bravery and kindness, and she beckoned him to join her on a journey to her homeland, promising a life of eternal happiness and love. Oisín, entranced by Nev's beauty and sincerity, mounted her horse, and they set off on an otherworldly adventure. Together, they rode through enchanted forests of silver leaves and fields of vibrant flowers, their beauty beyond compare. The skies above them were perpetually blue, and time seemed to stand still as they journeyed deeper into Tir Nanog. In this land of magic and wonder, Oisín and Nev's love blossomed like a rare and beautiful flower. Their days were filled with laughter, their nights with starlit dances, and their hearts with an eternal flame of love. It was a place where dreams came true, and they were blissfully lost in each other's arms. However, as time passed, a longing grew within Oisín's heart. He missed his homeland, his family, and his people. Nev, understanding his yearning, allowed him to return to Éireann for a brief visit, but she warned him not to touch the ground of his homeland, for mortal time was swift, and he might be trapped forever. Back in Ireland, Oisín found that much had changed. His people were no longer the same. and many years had passed since his departure. In an unfortunate twist of fate, he accidentally dismounted Nev's horse, and as soon as his feet touched the Irish soil, he began to age rapidly. In despair, Oisín realized that he could never return to Tír na nÓg or to his beloved Nev. He composed beautiful poems and songs about his adventures and the love he had experienced in the magical land, sharing with his fellow Irishmen before passing away as an old man. The legend of Oisín's journey to Tír na nÓg lives on, a tale of love, adventure, and the timeless allure of an otherworldly realm. It reminds us that sometimes even the most enchanting dreams must come to an end. But the memories of such extraordinary experiences stay with us forever, like a haunting melody in the depths of our hearts. And so, the story of Oisín's journey to Tír na nÓg continues to enchant and inspire, a timeless testament to the enduring power of love and the allure of the mystical beyond.
Can't say I'm a fan of these shoes. I can't move while you're doing those epic reads because they just echoes through the studio. But, you know, it's Halloween, right? You suffer for your art.
They definitely have like that, you know, like killer clown vibe where it sounds like you're dragging a weapon behind you.
I am going to chase people around the block as soon as we're done in like 6 minutes here. We are running out of time. We're going to throw it back over to Bryn Kreis, the social media correspondent. Bryn, we got some questions right at the buzzer here. Whoa, she's back.
Hey.
Hey.
Yes, okay, let me get my bearings here. Okay, so, yes, we have a couple questions.
Were you busy adding Eye of Newt to the cauldron?
Yeah, you know, working away over there. So Patrick asks, what is the strangest folklore or figure from which you've drawn inspiration? I know those Celtic and Gaelic folk tales can get pretty out there.
Good one.
Great question,
good
Patrick.
Yeah.
If we're sticking with Irish mythology, I've been like doing a lot of like the next kind of project that I'm working on is the tale of the Tua de Danann and their battle against the Fomorians and the Battle of Moytura, and there's some weird stuff going on in there. The Morrigan, and you know you probably heard of the Morrigan, and she gets into some I can't tell you right now.
It's not TV friendly.
As far as like the weirdest stuff that we've done as a band is we are currently working on a song that is about Bloodborne, and Jared wrote the lyrics and I had to cut about half of them because he's a lawyer and he talks too much. He uses too many words. So I had to cut half of the words out. But anyway, he's pulling plot points from the game that are pretty obscure and like stuff that like went over my head in the first playthrough, so it's pretty crazy. But
there's a lot of inspiration to draw from.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like.
We don't get bored.
And the other question I have is from Spencer, aka Spenny.
Oh, Spenny!
He says, "Heck yeah, love the return of Spooky Stripped Down. Loving the music. What is that wind instrument? It's cool to see people playing things that are out of the ordinary."
This is a tin whistle. It's just like a tin whistle that you would find, at the music store, or like they'll sell them at Folk Fest. But the one that I have is it's an ABS one. So I like it because it doesn't quite sound as harsh as a metal one. But I mean, I'm also a plumber, so ABS kind of makes sense. But yeah, they're really cool, and I've got a whole bunch of them for every key.
Before we wrap things up, you're a plumber. You're the amazing Bazin Music and Audio Service.
Yep.
You're in Singularity, which we never talked about, which is the other band. A lot going on. How can people find you and try to do a better job of compartmentalizing everything you do? Because this episode just completely got away. Like I don't even know where to start with questions for you. You do so much, and it's all completely like unrelated. Like Celtic, pirate, metal, and a plumber. Like what? And what kind of question do you ask that person?
And a drummer for a progressive tech death band, and a producer,
right.
and
So where do people go?
I'm the Amazing Basin on pretty much every social media platform: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everything. I actually am creating some new content that's kind of mostly to do with drum practice routines and drum maintenance. So that's kind of where I'm going with stuff right now until the next wild idea catches me.
Awesome. We got to run through our sponsors again one last time before you play us out of here, before you play us out of the 13th Halloween special here on Strip Down Live. Obviously, our title sponsor, Earl Saskatoon. Once again, Earl's Mirrors Halloween party is October 28th from 7 p.m. to, quote, late. It's going to be a DJ and a costume party, and it's free entry. Vern's Pizza. They have monthly specials as well. Again, support the people that support us. Hairstyle In and E-West Music. If you want to watch a whole bunch of former shows from the last, 12 seasons, check out Mermoose Media on YouTube. I've uploaded a whole bunch there. And, thank you for watching. Everybody who's in costume, run out here real quick. Lock your cameras off. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Get out here. Get out here, Bigfoot. We got 20 seconds here. We got Bryn. Come on, anyone else?
Thanks again for having us, guys.
Right?
You guys were.
It's Halloween.
You guys
Again,
really brought it this time.
This is what completely got away on us. Get out here.
Okay.
Camera. Come on. We're gonna be good. Everyone, Dylan, Anna, Kathleen.
I have to go in the back. I'm tall.
I'll go do. You guys want to just linger in the background? I'll do camera for the last one. What's the last song? Where are we going?
It is called O Ro Shedovaha Walya. Sing along if you know the words.
I don't. Pierre from Aiséirí. Take it away.
O Ro Shedovaha Walya, O Ro Shedovaha Walya, O Ro Shedovaha Walya. Anisar hjärtan tauri, Shedovaha van balin, var det mer kraft till mig. Geven guche bra i selef lug. Is du till talesna galef. Horo Shedovaha Walya, Horo Shedovaha Walya, Horo Shedovaha Walya. Anisar hjärtan tauri, takran jag välig, takar salja, ogle amhalle, magara ge, feniste galna sparin. Skure sin rögar galef, Horo Shedovaha Walya, Horo Shedovaha Walya, Horo Shedovaha Walya. Anisar hjärtan tauri, av vidarina vart jag fjäcken, manna med björa i aktjakten, gran jag väl, jag spelar gaskill, äggfågarns fanar galef. Horo Shedovaha Walya, Horo Shedovaha Walya, Horo Shedovaha Walya. Anisar hjärtan tauri, Horo Shedovaha Walya, Horo Shedovaha Walya, Horo Shedovaha Walya. Anisar hjärtan tauri.